Hey guys, Greg with Planet Green Zen, and thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. Now, for the people who have never been to this channel, what I really love to do is just inspire the world in 5 main areas in life. And those are mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and socially, because I truly believe that if we all had a holistic yin-yang balance of each one of those areas on this planet, we will live in world peace and eliminate hunger, famine, slavery, war, have more health, wealth, and abundance together as one human unit on this entire planet. So if you guys believe in similar messages, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you're notified when new videos are released. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on these different topics. And last but not least, share this out with people in your community and tribe who needs to hear these messages so they can unplug and break free. Now, I have a awesome special guest for you guys today. Her name is Melanie, and I won't spoil everything, but I'll go ahead and give just a quick bio on Melanie. So she actually is a product of the American school system. She was taught, just like most of us, to go to school, get good grades, get a good job. And she was raised to actually have an employee type of mindset. Work a job with a pension, put some away in a 401k, IRA, and just live below your mean, or within your means, I have to say. And then something called the Purple Book actually changed her life, which changed many of our lives. And it's by Robert Kiyosaki. If you guys don't know, it is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Highly recommend you guys have to read this book. If anything, that's the only book you read this year, read that book. And it changed the way Melanie thought about money and just how to perceive certain things. It took her 3 years of nonstop learning through the book, podcasts, webinars, and even some guru training program that actually give her the confidence that she could walk away from a steady federal type of job and income and then follow her path and passion to about passive income, real estate, and so she can live a life of freedom and abundance. So, without further ado,
Planet Green Zen, inspiring the everyday person to break free from the mundane and take action.
How are you doing today, Melanie? That was an amazing intro. That, again, it's not, she put that together, guys. I got to give her credit, and I just read it off. So,
I'm good. Living the good life over here.
Awesome. Yeah, that's amazing, guys. Now, I connected with Melanie through actually one of her meetups through Bigger Pockets. Again, if you guys are not part of Bigger Pocket, again, highly recommend joining that that forum, that website. Go to their YouTube channel because it's a community of like-minded people who just want to help each other grow and succeed. So Melanie posted one for Phoenix here. She doesn't live here yet. She's coming here. And I went to her meetup, met her and a few other people. And then when she kind of told me a little bit of her story and what she's about, it just inspired me. I mean, I said, I have to have you on my channel. And then now look, we're here. And like I always tell you guys, your net worth is determined upon your network. And when you hang around people who have similar mindsets, again, you could do amazing things. I said, hey, I'm gonna interview on my channel, and that was something I manifested and is happening right now. So yeah, I really appreciate your time and just talking to the people of Zen out there, I should say. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like your life journey, and like how did you get to where you are today? I know I just read your bio, but how did you get to where you are today?
Yeah, well, the bio is how it started. I lived in suburbia. I grew up in Utah. Got great grades, joined the military because I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I thought, well, I could buy myself some time. I didn't want my parents to support me or pay for my college. So I joined college, travel the world, be on my own, out from under my parents' wings, and then last but not least, serve the country. But anyway, awesome. I was living in Italy serving during 9/11. Got out shortly after because I was done with duty days and underways and, standing duty, standing watch. Not cool. Thank you. Sure. My pleasure. I wanted to go back to school. I felt like I needed to continue my education because I don't know, just wasn't being challenged in the military. So I started making a list of what my favorite things to do were, and travel was on the number one on the list. And I thought, well, why continue my list? I'll just do that. So I studied travel administration, got my bachelor's degree, and the GI Bill paid for my school and more. And then I wanted to use it all up, so I got my master's degree. And I still didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I didn't really know what does tourism mean, travel, what does that mean? My dad's wife his wife now still, she was a park ranger for the Federal National Park Service. I thought, well, I can do that for a while because she did a lot of search and rescue, firefighting, and it wasn't just law enforcement, it was other stuff. So I thought, well, it seems fun enough. So fast forward, I ended up doing it for 9 years, but it wasn't what I ultimately wanted to do. But I had never thought of work, money, or anything any different than how I was raised. And that was get a job, especially one with a pension, which the federal service had, work your 20 years, your 20 whatever years, retire, and then just live within those means. So I got married while I was a park ranger, and he was a trust fund baby. So he thought about money a little different than I did. He was very entitled, but he had this idea of like get rich quick and, you know, real estate and whatever. He didn't completely understand it, but I'm sure a seed was planted at that time. Yeah. And somehow that purple book made it into my hands. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I read it and it changed my life. It was mind blowing how simple it is, but how if you don't know and you're not introduced to it, you won't ever know. So I really just started digging in and learning. And by that time, you know, in my life, I had been in the military, I had graduated college, I got my master's degree. Everything I've ever put my mind to, I've successfully completed and with accolades. So I was starting to have confidence in myself that anything I put my mind to, I could do. So I wanted to, ultimate goal is passive income. That's this freedom shirt. It's not about freedom, but the freedom of finances. So yeah, real estate was it. And I just needed a gap. I have federal job, passive income, and I'm in the gap right now being a real estate agent, helping other investors, but also investing in apartments myself. So that's where I am now. I moved to Virginia 2 years ago from California, new market, didn't know anybody, starting a new career, scary, scary, scary. I'd never done something like this. I was always very safe and conservative. And here I pulled chalks from the job. I had 30 grand in debt because I did one of those guru training programs. I did the Rich Dad, Poor Dad 1. And I came here and I had to make it. I just did. So lots of mind training, lots of verbal audio, just like manifesting, saying, putting it out there, what I needed. I wake up in the morning and 99% of the time I'd have that lead in my email, I'd have that opportunity. And just, I kept believing and vibrating high enough to bring the good energy and bring exactly what I was putting out there to me. So fast forward, it took me about a year and a half, and now completely debt free and twice as much in the bank or more than twice as much in the bank as I was in debt, and just loving life and having fun with the people, really enjoying what I'm doing, and feel like my path is starting to get clear.
Wow, you just blew my mind. That was amazing.
That was a long one, sorry.
No, that was perfect. See, and I love what you said, a few different things that caught, like, you know, some gems that you guys, hope you're taking notes out there. Again, I have in my office, I have quotes on all corners of my wall, and one of them goes, comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. And just like you said, when you got out of your comfort zone, it was scary. Anything worth doing is going to be fearful, guys. If you, how does the saying go? If your goals don't scare you and excite you at the same time, you're not dreaming big enough. So that's something I like to live by. I'm a big Bob Proctor fan, so a lot of my things are from Bob Proctor. But yeah, just what you're doing is astonishing. So yeah, I just want to commend you for doing great and just keep up the great work. So when it comes to your business, what are some things, like what are some of your main goals that you're setting out to accomplish as far as being a real estate agent and even creating your passive income? What are some like main goals you have with that?
Well, real estate agent, the day-to-day is a job. You know, you do a transaction, it closes, you're done. So it's really just filling in the gap to my passive income for the future and buying apartments. But I really enjoy it. I have a meetup. What I have here in Virginia, I'm going to create in Phoenix. That's why I held that meetup. I'm going to Phoenix every month until I get there in December. I have 2 more trips planned. I will hold a meetup each time to start that group. It's how I started here. It is the system that I created and it works. So I'm just going to go do it again. And I just believe and trust that people will show up. So my philosophy in life, and I think where a lot of my success has come from, is I give and I give and I give and I give. And eventually it comes back to me. Call it karma, you can call it whatever, but people, especially millennials, they have to like you, know you, trust you, all that stuff. So starting with trust, I build trust with providing value. They know me because they see me and I have these meetups. And then hopefully they like me. If they don't, then there's plenty of other agents out there. I don't get my feelings hurt, whatever. But yeah, so my business here, my team that I built here, they will keep selling real estate and keep doing their thing, keep running the meetups and have the team. I found 2 great people, bringing on a third. We're having drinks with her tonight because she passed a real estate test. But they are investor agents as well. We've kind of pigeonholed ourselves into just being an investor agent. About 90% of the stuff we do is to help investors. Because I'm not a salesperson. I can sell things I believe in. I can sell passion and mindset. I can sell real estate because I believe in real estate, and I believe it is the ultimate wealth building tool. If you look at the history of our country and where wealth has come from, everyone has had their fingers in real estate that has any money.
Yep.
Very few exceptions.
Yep.
So I can sell it, and I believe in it. And I don't feel like I'm just selling. I feel like I'm creating legacies through other people. So my team here will continue selling real estate, and I'll see the benefits of that. And in June, I told them the team will be yours. You will get all the benefits of what I've built. And I'm doing that so they treat it like it's their own and keep building this thing. So I'll go to Phoenix and start that. Potentially start a team, although it's not my immediate focus. But yeah, if I had a team and then I could step away just to apartments, then again, I have another source of income.
Awesome, that's amazing. It's again, like I live by quotes, and one by Zig Ziglar is if you give enough other people what they want, in return you get everything that you want. So
absolutely,
like Newton's third law, for every action is equal and opposite reaction. So I live by that same philosophy. You just help and serve and truly have that passion to really help. Like I just got done with volunteering this morning with some refugee camps and people and helping sort some things out with them. So again, guys, you're going to truly help other people out, you will get that back in return when you least expect it. So just go serve and just trust in the universe, trust in the process. So when it comes to as far as you pursuing your goals and dreams, what are some challenges you face when on that journey?
Challenges are, learning new things and learning a whole new career, meeting new people, but every challenge is an opportunity to grow. So I'm happy when I have challenges because you grow through what you go through, right? So without challenges, we would have nothing. So a lot of my challenges have been, I didn't tell my dad that I spent a bunch of money on a guru training program until I, was in a much better position. I was basically told me I was dumb for leaving my federal job. I was stupid, maybe one of those two words. But by that time, it honestly didn't matter because negative motivation is motivation. So I just say, thank you, Dad. Thank you for motivating me. I didn't say it to him like that. I just smile and whatever for him. But in my soul, I'm like, I'm just saying thanks. Every person in our life, whether they mean well, don't mean well, they're here to teach us a lesson. Every human you have contact with teaches you a lesson and they change you. Our interaction today is going to change you and I forever. It happens subconsciously. So challenges, mostly pushback from my dad, my sister. My mom's been pretty supportive, and just society in general. When I know I'm going to get pushback, I just don't share with those people. And then just the new growth. But growth is fun to me. New stuff is challenging. A challenge is exciting to me. I think that's why going to Phoenix, some people are like, aren't you scared? I'm like, yes, I am scared. That's so much fun. Like, but I feed off of it.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And man, you saying so many gems. I hope you guys are taking notes. You got to take these copious notes and just know that if you listen to Melanie, she's like a digital mentor right now to so many people that are watching. There's the people of Zen out there. So another question for you is, why do you think that most people, like the 95%, don't really pursue their dreams or goals? What is that? What causes that so large of a percentage to just not fully do what they're meant to do on this earth?
Oh, that's a very long question. But in general, I think there's a couple things. One, people don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they can pursue. And the second one is maybe they don't feel they deserve it, potentially, or it's so much work, it's overwhelming. So, but I also believe that everybody is on their own path, and it has to be in their time for their intention for their life. I was, in my mid-30s before I ever had a seed planted to change my mindset. I spent 30-something years thinking an old way until one little pivot, one little thing changed my whole life forever. So I just think people just don't know that they could have anything that they want.
Yeah, that's so true.
Or they're afraid of failure or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of it too with our conditioning, just our programming in school and growing up. And when you're taught that failure is bad in school, or don't imagine, look out the window, don't look out the window and daydream, focus on this textbook. So all that stuff with society, like you said, just kind of limits people's mindset. But I think if there's a way, and once you break them free from that matrix, you will be able to realize, you said that switch goes off. Like with me, I read that book and it was like, wow, it's like the room went from dark to light, the switch just flicked, and I'm like, I can see everything. It's so clear now. I know my purpose. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
One of the things I always say, and you can quote me on this one, you can't unknow shit. You can't. Once you've read something and a seed has been planted, you cannot unknow that. And it will forever change you.
Yeah.
Whether you do something with it or not that's the key.
Yeah, and the knowledge we obtain, some of these prices, we can't put a price tag on the knowledge and the experiences we gather through our journey on this earth. So yeah, I 200% concur with you. And the next question is kind of, you already touched on this with your dad, with your father, but what are your thoughts when it comes to other people's opinions, when it, like, as far as when you're pursuing something outside of that box, and people that you love or care about, friends, family, they don't do it on purpose, but they are programmed, to they kind of attack you in a sense to kind of want to put you back in that bin, or that crabs in a bucket analogy. So what are your thoughts when it comes to other people's opinions when someone is trying to pursue their dreams and goals and they are negative? How would you, the people who are listening out there, what advice would you give them when it comes to that?
Well, this has many facets. This one, I could talk all day on just this one question. It goes back to the ego, and everyone has an ego. The bottom feeder of our humanity is basically survival, food, shelter, water, but also saving themselves from society potentially. So if someone else is pursuing a dream and they're doing great, it serves that ego to put that person down. So I don't put too much thought into people's opinions, because one, they're coming at it from a very low vibrating energy, and they're just trying to protect themselves by putting everyone else down around them. A book that really digs deep into that is Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. And then the other thing is, when people say something to you, it's just a reflection of them. If they would just answer or ask the same question of themselves, it actually turns out it's not about you, it's about them. In relationship, in business, this is a concept I've recently started looking in on and studying myself. When I accuse, or when I say, or with a relationship, oh, he always does this, and I think, okay, let's turn that mirror around, and it's like, oh, actually, I do that. So we're all on a journey, and we're all growing humans. Some people are aware. Some people push back. I don't want to change. Well, that's too bad, because we all should be changing and growing. So I'm not too worried about other people's opinions, because my opinion is what matters to me. And yeah, I could talk all day about that subject, but for the most part, I don't think too much about their opinions.
There's a really great video, even if you go on YouTube and type in Andrew Carnegie's opinions, there's a really nice video. Now, obviously, it's like a reconstructed voiceover, but I think they probably took some of his old documents and kind of just reread it in like a digital format. But it hits what you're saying perfectly when it comes to other people's opinions. He just nails it. So if any of you guys are listening, just type in Andrew Carnegie's opinions on YouTube, and it's like a 3-minute video. Just go ahead and watch that. I think I did make a YouTube video and a blog on that as well a while back, but check that out so you guys can start to really understand what it's, because if you let someone else, if you live your life through someone else's lens, you'll never be fulfilled. You got to pursue what you're meant to do in this earth, even if it's outside of that norm, and you may get uncomfortable with it, or people may attack you or try to bring you back to that herd. But for you, when you go out and pursue what you need, and then when you come back, you actually can bless and help the people in your circle, that because they sometimes just need to see the improvement, because they've been hurt so many times in their life, they just don't have that faith anymore. So you got to go show them that it's true, and then you can come back and help bless them. Then that can restore their faith, and they can actually help as well. So, sorry, phone's ringing.
Well, their opinion is coming from their own life experiences. And I think it's funny when people have an opinion about stuff that I have studied deeply and very secure in choices I've made, but their opinion is coming from a place of just not knowing anything about the subject. So they really shouldn't have an opinion.
Yeah, exactly. It's like trying to take an opinion. It's like, guys, would you rather get an opinion from a doctor who's been doing open heart surgery for 20 years and had years worth of successful surgeries and help train doctors do the same thing, or someone who watches Grey's Anatomy on their couch? Who are you going to listen to, the doctor with the experience or the one that sits on the couch? Most people listen to the person.
I would rather listen to the doctor who went through the surgery themselves.
Yes.
But yes, studying and practicing is also acceptable too.
Yeah, And that kind of leads to my next question. So why do you feel it's important for people to be educated, I'll say, beyond the walls of just standard school?
Well, information and education bring ideas and opportunity. I mean, you are limited to the knowledge you have. You can't think outside of your knowledge unless you expand outside of your knowledge. So the more you learn and grow about, I would definitely do some self discovery and what is it called when you like watching this video would be just becoming a better person. But whatever your business, your line of business is, you should be very focused on your own financial situation and how to take care of yourself. Maybe if power's out for 2 weeks, can you take care of yourself? If a hurricane wipes through wherever, no, here in Phoenix, tornado, I don't know, wipes through the city, can you take care of yourself? Like, you should always be growing and learning. Institutional learning, there is a time and a place for it, but I think it is getting pretty limited and there are other options, but it really just depends on the person. I want my lawyers and CPAs and accountants and people to be educated formally, but maybe not investors and entrepreneurs or people who are inventing things. So I think we should be learning every day for the rest of our lives.
Yep, exactly. Never stop learning, guys. What is something that people have thanked you for the most that you can recall?
I mean, in my current life, definitely just knowledge. Putting the meetups together, bringing people together. I get lots of thanks for providing opportunities for people to network. So that's very low level. A lot of my close girlfriends, I'm always there for them. I got my solid crew that I'll always be there for them if they need me. So, yeah, I guess. I mean, is that not a very exciting answer?
Hey, you bring people together and you never know, those two people can go off and make $1 million together. So like by you bringing them together, they may not have met without you bringing them together. So yeah, I have to say that can be a powerful thing.
It's true. I've recently learned about myself. Like before I became an entrepreneur, I didn't exactly know what my gifts were. I could do anything I put my mind to, but I didn't know what my gifts were. My gift is connecting people.
That's amazing. Awesome. And that's a gift that's needed throughout the entire world. What is something that you've failed at that you don't mind sharing?
Oh, God, every failure is an opportunity to learn something about whatever or yourself. I mean, I was thinking about this question. I'm like, well, I mean, every relationship I've ever been in, with a guy has failed, but has it failed? Or was that just a time to learn something? Like I mentioned, I was married. I'm not married anymore. Well, there was a reason while I was with that man, I probably would still be a park ranger had I not been. So even though it's a failed marriage, I don't think it was a failure. My current ex-boyfriend, the whole reason why, well, he's current and will always be my ex-boyfriend, but the reason I'm here in Virginia, he's a military guy and got orders and I moved over here with him. I got to leave my federal job, have an opportunity to explode here and meet people I met. I'm just thankful for both of those people, even though, we're not going to be together forever. I guess it was a failure, but it's not a failure. So, there's nothing in my mind that I'm thinking, I failed at something. I can't really, but everything has been for a purpose. So I don't know.
But I love the way you turned that around, because most people will say, well, yeah, I failed at this and just leave it as a failure and kind of dwell on it and be negative about it. You took something that a lot of people can look at as a failure, negative, and you turned it to a positive. You said, and brought thanks to that and positivity to it and looked at the positives that came from that experience. So that's what I love about your answer, where I try to help, educate people that as well. Like, don't look at what you're grateful for, and that will outweigh the negative when you really think about it. So then when you think of something that could be negative or hurtful, your positive and your purpose will outweigh that, and you actually will feel good about it. Wow, I'm grateful for this experience, because without this, I wouldn't have ended up here, built a successful team, and did all this stuff without this experience. So yeah, that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah, and if there is something that someone's failed at, that just failed miserably, and maybe they did do something horrible, I mean, always learn, see what the lesson was. But also, leave it in the past. Like, pick yourself up and move on, because dwelling on some failure is not going to serve you now, ever.
Exactly. So. And like I always tell you guys, failure is not failing, it's quitting. So if something doesn't go the way you want it to, that's fine. It's a learning experience. Just keep pushing forward, keep pushing through that gravity. Like I told you guys, going through that force like a rocket ship. It takes millions of gallons of thrust to enter, to get out of Earth's atmosphere, go into space. But then once you're in space, it's literally the tiniest push can like propel that rocket ship forever. But you got to get out that gravity first. So just keep pushing forward, even though it may feel heavy and hurtful at times, but just don't stop. That's the key. Never stop.
Like the flywheel.
Exactly. Now I know you didn't mention the one book that changed your life. Either you could elaborate on this or pick another book, but what is either that or another book that actually influenced you and why? It could be Rich Dad Poor Dad or something specifically about that, or you could think of another book. I actually just read Eckhart Tolle's book. I just read that book. Yeah, Power of Now. I just read that like a month ago or two.
Well, when you say influenced, I mean, Rich Dad Poor Dad changed my life and definitely had an influence. Power of Now probably influenced me the most in a mindset shift. Since like within the last 4 or 5 years, I have done probably my most growth of my whole life as far as being a person. So Power of Now was one of those key pivots, and so is the Purple Book. So influenced me. Yeah, I would say those two have had the most influence on my life. Of course, the Bible too. I believe that's the foundation to everything. So, and what I believe. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean the Yoga Sutras. I'm a big yoga person, so learning about what's important and what's not important in our modern day and age. Bible teaches the same kind of stuff. You know, use things and love people, not the opposite. So I'm a minimalist. I don't own a lot of things. I have a car and whatever fits in my car, basically, at the moment. So besides real estate, you know, own that all day long. Do love some real estate, but that makes me money. Because I don't want things to own me, because we don't always own the things. They actually own us and our responsibility and our attention and our time and our resources. So.
Wow, I'm sorry, I just got to touch on that a little bit, because what you just said just reminded me of, I was having a conversation with a couple people the other day, and it's funny how like our society thinks that materialistic things actually brings you happiness and it's the fulfillment of life, but then those things do begin to own you. Like you go get that mortgage that's like $2,000 a month. Now you're stressing about getting roommates or can't afford it, and then you put all this stuff on credit cards that you don't need, or you can just live in a simple basic house. Maybe I don't know. I mean, you can house hack, which is great, but just buying things that you don't need, then you have to go spend all this extra time at work and exchange time for money to just pay the credit card bills and financing everything, versus just if you live below your means, just get what you need instead of just stuff that you think you need or think other people will be. You make other people happy by having these things. That's powerful that you said that. So thanks for sharing that.
So it's just, I think, an awareness as to the fleeting joy of something that it brings you, something like a new car or new anything. You enjoy it for a certain period of time. You get a dopamine hit. It's a physiological response. It's science. We can't fight science, but just being aware of how long that lasts.
Yeah.
And then it's much easier, and as Marie Kondo is coming in here and her, whatever, it's much easier to say no to something than to get rid of something. So if you can learn to just say no,
wow,
it's so much easier than trying to sell your favorite boat, your car, your whatever is important to you. So again, life lessons, it's a journey, and it is a journey. So
I'm gonna quote you again. It's easier to say no to something than to get rid of something. Guys, remember that. Yep. Rewind this and play it again. Well, it's not a tape, but play it back. Because I'm dating myself with my age here. All righty.
Be kind, rewind.
Yeah, no, right? Exactly. Blockbuster. And I know, obviously, you did tell us what products you do, but is there any other products or services that you offer that you would like to touch on, or if people
I don't have any products.
What you do? Okay.
I don't sell anything, and right now my meetups and everything are free. At the moment, I don't intend for that to change. So everything I offer is just support for people to, learn about investing in real estate. And the benefit that comes to me is if they do a real estate transaction with me, I get paid. So my goal, moving into the bigger stuff, is if I was an agent on an apartment complex. I'll tell you one here. I have a 24 unit. We're going under contract probably this week. Instead of getting paid my fee, I'm just rolling it into an equity position. So my little fee in 10 years is going to be this much. If I can just wait and ride out the investment. So that's the service I provide. I get paid to do my service, but for someone on your channel, they can't find me and buy anything from me. So no pressure.
Awesome. Great. And I can't wait till you move here so we can talk about some of those multifamily transactions as well. Because, that's how we met, from a multifamily investment. And what is one piece of advice that you actually, or a piece of wisdom that you can bestow to the people of Zen out there, the people who are listening to this? What is a piece of advice that they can walk away with, I should say?
I mean, I've given you lots of them, but I would say just the final takeaway and thought is be open to changing. Allow yourself to be influenced and changed. Don't be so rigid in your belief system. And I'm not saying religious belief system, I'm saying in money and how life should be and what happiness is and what stuff you should have. Just in general, allow yourself to be molded for the benefit of being a better person. Not for society by any means, but just keep learning and growing.
Thank you. Awesome. And again, I'll just add one little thing onto that too. Think of your mind as a radio receiver. If you change it to FM or AM station, you can actually get these different channels that's all around us. All these frequencies are around us right now. We can't see it visually, but if you get a radio and tune into 101.7 FM, it's going to bring in some type of noise or sounds, which it's tuning into that same frequency. So if you open your mind and your soul on that vibrational frequency of giving and just abundance, and open your mind to just learning, you will be able to start to receive things from the universe, infinite intelligence, God, and then you will be able to get on the path that you need to be. If you want change, you want something else. Again, when you start to notice that successful people all say the same thing, that's the purpose of this channel. You guys will start to see there's a pattern in everything people say, whether I interview them myself or if you look at famous people, they all have the same message that actually have been awakened and they are on their spiritual path as well. So again, guys, open your mind. Just think of it as a radio, tune into the different frequencies, you'll be able to attract what you need. Whatever the questions is, you will get the answers.
Yeah, you're definitely a sponge. So being intentional about what you're listening to, either the YouTube channel or whatever, or even the music you listen to. There's a lot of music in society today that's about sex or some, really low vibrational stuff about, oh, he didn't like me, or, just that gets into your soul. If it goes through your ears, it gets to your soul. So be intentional about what you listen to.
I can't agree more. So that's great. And one last final question I have for you is, how can people connect with you if they want to connect with you while you're in Virginia or when you move to Phoenix or just whatever? How can they contact you?
I'm going to be in a transition with my websites and connections and things. So my personal Facebook page, finding me there, I think it's Melanie NPS, because I was in the National Park Service, is my Facebook thing. I don't think I can change that. For my team, I'm Think Real Estate Team here. You can find that page on Facebook. I will have a Think Real Estate Team in Phoenix. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to name it, but my new email for my business in Phoenix is melanie.melaniemcdanielrealestate.com. Super. And then there will be a website to go with that. So for now, or my email, melaniemcdaniel3000@gmail.com. That's my personal email, which I'll always have. So however, I'm sure you can put it in your show notes or whatever you got going on. But hopefully people will just show up to the meetups in Phoenix. I'm a big person to get off of the social media and into presence of people. I'm a big vibration person. I can see people on screens and you can get a little bit of sense, but when I'm in someone's present and my gut is run like hell, or my gut is wow, this is good people, I trust my intuition. So I like to get people in the same room.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. So I'll definitely have her links in the description so you guys can connect with her directly. And like you said, when I met you at the event, I knew, hey, I want to have you on this channel because I just felt a good vibrational frequency from just your energy. So thank you for your time today and speaking to the people of Zen out there. Any final words that you want to give to the people?
No, man. Life is good. Make it that way.
Awesome.
It's a choice.
Great. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. And all right, well, have this posted soon. And you guys have a great day.